I am devoid of orbit. People ask me what that means, but the answer like, fuck. Yeah. I am devoid of orbit. People ask me what that means. It doesn't mean jack shit, but it means the world to me. I'm the most normal weirdo you'll meet in this strange life. Fully functional and fully dysfunctional on the same night. I've spent 41 years trying to find a piece that melds me with whatever preconceived patterns that they've released. And well, pieces are constantly lost and found, but often I'll still make the pieces fit despite the taunting that wanders down from higher ups. They sit and scoff at my system. They can't acknowledge that they're wrong for trying to quantify wisdom. It's all good, I get that. Without that pursuit, their visions are worth less than a bench presser with a bird's chest. I'm the janitor obsessed with cleaning the earth's mess while watching shows about aliens claiming that earth's next. Like, I'm supposed to care. I'm a fucking alien anyway. Fuck out of here. I am devoid of orbit. People ask me what that means. It doesn't mean jack shit, but it means the world to me, right? I mean, right? I am devoid of orbit. People ask me what that means, but the answer lacks a clean. Come on, man. Yeah. Yo, I am devoid of orbit. People ask me what that means, but the answer lacks a clean and simple explanation. A lot has gone into this notion, and it took a lot of thought to crack my pot and split it open to the point where it even made a speck of sense. So please understand why I was hesitant. It's always been first nature for me to second guess the messages embedded in my head. But ever since I took a nosedive off of its precipice, the pessimist within me has been left for dead. Well, not quite, but at least it rests in bed every odd night, giving me the go ahead to grow a shred, attack and prosper. So maybe I can show a thread of what I have to offer, and I promise I won't harm y'all, but instead of a threat, I bring a whole fucking yarn ball. And if y'all cannot take that, then stay way back, hit skip or pause, anything but playback. For the rest of you who choose to go on this journey, I've done my best. I really truly hope that it's worthy. I hope you folks are discerning. But if this isn't what stirs your drink, man, that shit don't concern me. If you don't like my kind, go grab some Mai Tais, pass out and never wake up. It won't shake up my life. I spit for the knuckle draggers and Neanderthals, and crusty ass Tims, salty ass fitted hats and camouflage. I am devoid of orbit.
Why did we ever let it go?
Gotta learn to let it go. Can't know everything.
The only thing that I know.
What is it about mystery that fascinates the best of us, presses us to answer the questions that life addresses us? It's like we're never content until our heads can bust, fueled by the voracious temptations of what we've yet to touch. What is it that possesses us to always guess so much, to mess with stuff that we have no business amending, just to check what happens, or maybe to impress a judge, or possibly to stop the breeding of aggressive bugs? What makes a starving artist continue to try his hardest when all of the critics tell him his inventions suck? What makes some folks invest their bucks in music that suggests to us that a woman's only purpose is to undress and fuck, while the gifted MCs are left outside of the fence to rust? What makes those millions of white folks obsessed with Trump when they have little in common with them? Or let's discuss the motivation that causes hobos and vagrants and other susceptible homo sapiens to get led to drugs, only to end up stressed, depressed, and stuck in a dreaded dead-end lifestyle, giving possessions up or on the street with a cup, giving off an offensive musk. It must be the same thing that gets us to spend it up whenever we see something that we don't have and attempt to clutch. Whether it's a small item or an expensive truck, there's something there that pesters us until we're set to bust, and it starts to feel like your chest is crushed. I guess we figured that we could never be blessed enough, and so we quadruple our defense budget every year, even though we have enough weapons to turn this earth into a speck of dust. Here is my opinion, you can be my guest of fuss if you disagree, but please give me a second, cause I wanna give it every shred of my attention. Plus, you might just learn a thing or two, so show respects and The reason human beings will never be content to trust is cause everything we feel that we don't know is a threat to us. And so our curiosity constantly pressures us to test our luck, and oftentimes the side effects are rough. Some don't wanna deal with those and thus request a crutch. For instance, religion, because dealing with death is tough. But for the rest of us, this need to know is bred in us, and it'll never flee until we're cremated or dead in crust. Why you need to know everything anyway? What's the point?
Why did we we ever let it go?
What is it about mystery that fascinates the best of us? Presses us to answer the questions that life addresses us. It's like we're never content until our heads can bust, fueled by the voracious temptations of what we get to touch. What is it about mystery that fascinates the best of us? Presses us to answer the questions that life addresses us. It's like we're never content until our heads can bust, fueled by the voracious temptations. Voracious. Let it go. It's always something with you. My lady often complains that I'm too caught in the game. It says it causes her pain, watching me strain, but she doesn't get it. This city is fucking hectic. You have to hustle for respect, and so I always tuck a weapon. At times it's just a club, and others it's a Wesson. I always rock a vest, it's hot as balls, but it's protection. I'm not all about shopping in malls and impressing. I'm not all about gawking at broads undressing. I'm all about causing misconceptions. I'm all about guessing the right buttons, and above all, I'm all for pressing. I'll take all suggestions, but only use the ones that I've tried or that I trust to produce the funds. Even then it doesn't always go quite as expected. Like the other week, instead of wise I was reckless. I got a call to go talk to the boss. He found a snitch in his fam and wanted me to polish him off. From the sound of it, I thought the snitch was a counterfeit thug, just around to get drugs, so I didn't pack heavy. I grabbed my vest and the Mac from the pad and jumped behind the wheel of the trash Chevy that I jacked the day before while engaged in war with that triad gang. Anyway, I was racing toward the boss's mansion, heart pacing, thoughts dancing, rival gang shots glancing off the hood. Would've stopped it if I could've, but I couldn't, so I floored it. Safely made it to the mansion and got my plan sorted. Long story short, we had ourselves a hossa, and it was my job to spray him up like I was playing gotcha. I took my car and followed him without him noticing, all to find out to where and whom does he go to sing. His taxi drove him to the docks, to whom none of your business. I played it cool until that sucker was finished. Then I drove up next to him, shots through his neck and chin. Tragic, but that's what happens when you mess with kin. The mission was finished, but I had to score to settle with that triad gang, and I knew just where they be meddling. I headed there, but on my way I got escorted by a pack of those bastards strapped with bats and 45s. When I got stopped at the light, those kids surrounded me, pulled me out of the whip and pounded the shit out of me. They kept shooting and swinging, beating me senseless. I know this sounds way fucked up, but man, get this. Just as I had managed to abscond from the beating, my lady pulled the plug and said, boy, you ought to be sleeping. That entire day got completely washed away, cause I got caught in the game. God damn it, I forgot to save. Fuck. Game. Yeah. It's like we're addicted to religion, but not quite in the way that you might be thinking. Let me explain. Yeah, there's an easy reason why everybody seeks to try each and every new sandwich, despite the accrued damage. Decisively shrewd antics pave the way for kings to thrive. Eat their fries, eat their frozen pre-processed pizza pies. Feed their religion to your seeds and envision a place where each and every one of them eats without rinsing a plate. Cause we're essentially there, it's not some strange abyss. Let us give a little thought regarding how it all came to this. God made man and blessed him with a mate to relate with. For ages they stayed patient while playing blatantly naked. One day, his mate came back with fruit and begged him to taste it. Not knowing the ramifications, he gave it and ate it, and basically wasted paradise for a quick bite to eat. They were cast out of Eden, quite the sick sight to see. After that, this dutiful couple needed food on the double, so they consumed God's other critters and moved on to struggle for survival in the world much harsher than the one before. Meanwhile, the woman bore a couple kids and then a couple more. The man conducted scores of hunts and hopes and finding sustenance for the woman to cook. What a lovely grind it must have been. The cycle persisted for many centuries, cause after they died, the descendants picked up on the recipes. Men would proceed to gather while women would meet their destinies at home or in front of a stove, cooking endlessly. Shit, wasn't that lovely? The most intelligent beings on earth, that's the best we can come up with. Or is it? Hear me out. Fast forward right quick to the feminist movement, with all of Eve's descendants hell-bent on extensive improvement. Some of them got it through pleasant methods, others through venomous spewing, but almost all collected their benefits, proving that they were more than capable of making their living. They entered the workforce on the way, basically shifting to two-income families. It seemed contemporary, but time passed and burdens were more than they were meant to carry, especially when it came to eating. So we tried to beat it. We had all the food we needed, but none of the time to eat it. We had to find a way to cut the preparation time while keeping the food fulfilling and still making it taste just fine. What did we do? We made a pact with the serpent, attached with a curse that's shown itself to be tragic for certain. But here's a different perspective, we're the easy winners. What's more romantic than preparing and sharing TV dinners? What's more convenient than not having to clean the dishes? What's more enjoyable than licking the filth from our greasy digits? Not much, cause if you ask a person what they'd rather choose, they probably say a shit meal and extra time to relax and snooze. The tale of how this happened is massive, I've scratched the shell, but if you ponder a fraction, you can gather the facts yourself. If you don't have the time, I guess I'll do it for you. Yeah, yo, society is White Castle, King Burger reigns supreme along with Queen Dairy. Although she's on the scene rarely, and a larger presence looms beyond the walls and claims to be Illuminati of the kingdom. And at time it seems fairly conclusive that the clown with the red and white face has a chokehold on the game and only plays for high stakes. Each and everywhere you gaze, there's peasants horror in their bodies. Some are classic, but most of them are sex and horrid and sloppy. We used to fuck them unprotected like detestable heathens, and now we've met the consequences as we wrestle diseases that we've never seen. I guess we're addicted to death, and it'll be a bit too late before we begin to regret this religion that we've abetted. We've made the same mistake as our foreparents, and it'll eventually dead us if we let it. Generally speaking, T's the type of guy who you wouldn't notice even if he stood right beside you. Still, he views all folks as shrewd pundits who constantly hold court and are stocked up with new judgments. Not a one of them have ever heard him speak a word, but he knows they know him deeply, and that keeps him reassured that he'll always have guidance even if their faces change. It's an invasive game, but the sanest way to frame is shame. Every day is the same, a constant barrage of complaining, aimed his way by those who were watching him feigning. They all have solid cases against him, ones that truly prove his shortcomings as a human. Shit. So he stays in his home, free from all the criticism, left to serve a sentence in his own sadistic prison, the one he started building from an early age and such. With all of the mud that was slung his way in bunches, he never learned to shrug it off. Instead he threw punches at himself, and as he got old he used crutches to compensate for his loss of faith in this awful place. When those got misplaced, his attitude grew pungent. So now he views all folks as shrewd pundits who constantly hold court and are stocked up with new judgments. Most of them will probably never hear him speak a word, but he thinks they know him deeply, and that keeps keeps him reassured that he'll always hold the reins and assume the worst in people. That way only good can roll his way and earth is peaceful. You see, T is his own jury and judge, the only one whose verdict carries any weight. And as sure as the sun sets in the west, he'll keep paying his debt to society, serving life, judging himself through your eyes silently. Serving life, judging himself through your eyes. Generally speaking, T's the type of guy who you wouldn't notice even if he stood right beside you. Still he views all folks as shrewd pundits who constantly hold court and are stocked up with new judgment speaking. T's the type of guy who you wouldn't notice if he stood right beside you. Still he views all folks as shrewd pundits, constantly hold court, new judgments. Not a one of them speak a word that keeps him reassured. Yeah, so if I've got this all correctly, I've got a ball in a Bentley, a draw reference to the clothes I've got on for y'all to respect me. That's pretentious to me. I'd rather get entrenched in a beat and see how many bulbs I can blow before I end up deceased. But let's pretend for a second this day is opposite, so I can get obnoxious and talk about all those rocks I flipped. I know it's odd as shit, but I promise it's dope and honest. I'm not really into soaking knowledge and all of those blokes in college. I'm just roping y'all in and rocking the boat, laughing, waiting for the perfect time to start dropping the soap, so I can get prodded and poked until my soul's an object, composed of pre-chosen concepts and corroded topics. Mold me into my role so y'all can control the profits. I want any prospects of hope to be choked and abolished. Please throw me into this mosh pit of nonsense so I can polish my craft. You'll be amazed at what I can accomplish. I'm chomping at the bit to throw my shit out to consumers and myself to interviewers so they can begin the rumors that will eventually break me down to the point where I'm making joints claiming you folks hate me now. Then I'll go away and resurrect the new according to whatever trend the market views is the most likely to distort the youth. Profess myself as the people's disciple, fall off again and come back as I'm just greasing this cycle. I'm just greasing this cycle. I'm not creating new inventions. If you're not subscribing, I'm not paying you attention. I'm just greasing this cycle. Because of you, I've got money to spare. Think that's crummy? I think it's funny you care. I'm just greasing this cycle. You're nothing to me but a crisp 20 every time you buy a disc from me, bitch. I'm just greasing this cycle, and yet you buy into my sideshow, but I'm not complaining. Keep your eyes closed.